Survival is not about strength, it is not about bravery, and it is definitely not about adventure. Most people imagine survival as a dramatic fight against nature, building massive shelters, hunting wild animals, conquering the environment through effort and willpower. But real survival looks nothing like that. Real survival is quiet, it is slow, and most of the time, it is boring. The wilderness does not test how strong you are. It tests how disciplined you can remain when nothing is happening, and when everything is going wrong. In this documentary, we are going to break down how humans actually survive alone in the wilderness. Not through theory, not through fantasy, but through real, observable behavior. The small decisions that quietly keep people alive. The biggest killer in survival situations is not hunger. It is not predators. It is not even cold. It is panic. When people realize they are truly alone, the mind accelerates faster than the body can keep up. Heart rate increases, breathing becomes shallow, and decision-making collapses. This is why experienced survivors slow down immediately. They sit, they breathe, they observe. Because panic causes 3 deadly mistakes: moving too much, doing too much, and burning energy without purpose. Survival is not about doing everything at once. It is about choosing the right order and sticking to it. If there is one rule that overrides all others, it is this: shelter comes first. Not food, not exploration, not fire, unless conditions demand it. The human body loses heat far faster than most people realize. Wind, ground contact, and moisture drain energy silently. That is why experienced survivors build small shelters. Not impressive ones, not comfortable ones. Small shelters trap heat, they reduce airflow, they conserve calories. A shelter is not a home, it is a survival tool. The goal is not comfort, the goal is to stop losing energy. Fire does more than provide warmth, it stabilizes the mind. In isolation, the human brain begins to drift. Thoughts loop, fear amplifies, time stretches unnaturally. Fire interrupts that process. It creates routine, it creates focus, it creates a sense of control. That is why survivors often prioritize fire even when temperatures are manageable. Because survival is not only physical, it is psychological. A calm mind makes good decisions. A panicked mind makes fatal ones. Hunger feels urgent, but hunger rarely kills quickly. Energy mismanagement does. Beginners waste calories chasing food too early. They walk too far. They attempt complex hunting methods. They burn more energy than they gain. Experienced survivors wait. They stabilize first. They protect warmth. They conserve movement. Food comes later, when effort produces more calories than it consumes. Survival is not about eating well. It is about not wasting energy. Cold does not announce itself dramatically. Hypothermia creeps in quietly. Wet clothing, sweat trapped against skin, wind exposure. These factors drain heat even above freezing temperatures. This is why survivors manage sweat carefully. They move slower, they layer intelligently, they stop before exhaustion sets in. Because exhaustion invites mistakes, and mistakes in cold environments compound rapidly. Without external feedback, the mind becomes its own echo chamber. Doubts grow louder. Small problems feel overwhelming. Survivors counter this with routine. They talk aloud.
Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and I'm camping in really deep snow in a blizzard. It's gonna be fun!
They schedule tasks. They create structure where none exists. Structure keeps the mind anchored, and an anchored mind keeps the body alive. Beginners overbuild. They overmove. They overthink. They mistake activity for progress. Experienced survivors do the opposite. They observe more than they act. They choose efficiency over effort. They accept boredom as a sign they are doing things right. Survival rewards patience, not productivity. Experienced survivors simplify everything. They minimize movement. They reuse systems. They avoid unnecessary risk. They understand that survival is not about winning, it is about not losing. Every decision is filtered through one question. Does this increase my chances tomorrow? If the answer is no, they do not do it. The wilderness does not care how motivated you are. It does not care how prepared you thought you were. It responds only to behavior. Stay calm, move with purpose, conserve energy, protect warmth, maintain structure. Survival is not dramatic, it is discipline. And those who understand the truth are the ones who walk out alive. After the initial danger passes, survival enters a quieter phase. This is the stage most people are unprepared for. There is no crisis, no immediate threat, just time. And time changes everything. The body adapts faster than the mind. Cold becomes familiar. Hunger becomes manageable. But boredom and doubt grow stronger. This is when people begin to make unnecessary decisions. Not because they need to, but because they want stimulation. Experienced survivors recognize this phase as the most dangerous of all, because nothing feels urgent. And that is exactly when mistakes happen. Feeling comfortable is not the same as being safe. When conditions stabilize, the brain looks for novelty. Movement increases, risk tolerance rises. People wander farther, they experiment more, they relax discipline. But survival is not maintained by comfort, it is maintained by consistency. Those who last the longest do not change their behavior just because things feel easier. They maintain routines even when motivation fades. Because the wilderness does not punish boredom, it punishes complacency. Routine is not about productivity, it is about psychological stability. Waking at the same time, checking shelter integrity, managing fire, organizing tools. These actions anchor the mind. They prevent time distortion, they prevent mental drift, they reduce anxiety without conscious effort. Survivors who establish routine early report fewer panic episodes and clearer decision-making. Structure replaces fear, and structure is free. Weather is not dramatic, it is relentless. Rain does not attack, it persists. Wind does not threaten, it erodes. Cold does not strike, it drains. This is why experienced survivors constantly prepare for weather, even when conditions are good. They reinforce shelters before storms arrive. They dry clothing aggressively. They plan movement around forecasts, not moods. Weather punishes optimism. It rewards preparation. Every action has a cost. Walking costs energy. Chopping wood costs energy. Thinking deeply costs energy. Survival becomes a daily calculation. Is the energy spent worth the benefit gained? Beginners ask, can I do this? Survivors ask, should I? This shift in thinking prevents exhaustion, the silent killer behind most survival failures. Stillness feels wrong to modern humans. We associate action with progress. But in survival, stillness preserves life. Remaining in one place conserves calories. It reduces injury risk. It simplifies planning. Survivors move only when movement produces a clear advantage. They understand that staying alive is often about resisting the urge to act. Survival is not decided by one big choice. It is decided by hundreds of small ones. Where to place gear, when to rest, how fast to move, whether to continue or stop. Each decision alone seems insignificant. Together, they determine survival. This is why experienced survivors slow everything down. Speed hides mistakes. Slowness reveals them. Tools break. Skills adapt. Survivors do not depend on single items. They depend on systems. Fire without matches. Shelter without tarps. Navigation without devices. This flexibility reduces panic when something is lost or damaged. Confidence comes from capability, not equipment. Discomfort is not a problem. Fighting discomfort is. Survivors accept hunger, cold, and boredom without emotional resistance. They do not interpret discomfort as danger. This mindset preserves mental energy. Suffering comes not from conditions, but from resisting them. True survival thinking extends beyond today. It considers tomorrow, next week. The unknown, survivors prepare for outcomes they hope never arrive. They conserve resources even when they seem abundant, because abundance can vanish overnight. Movement is a strategic decision, not an emotional one. Survivors move when resources are declining. Weather improves access. Risk decreases with relocation. They stay when conditions are stable. Shelter is functional. Energy reserves are low. Movement without purpose is gambling. Survival avoids gambling. Short-term isolation is manageable. Long-term isolation reshapes the mind. Time perception changes. Memory distorts. Motivation fluctuates. Survivors counter this by creating milestones. Days have structure. Weeks have goals. Progress is measured mentally, not physically. This prevents emotional collapse. Complex systems fail. Simple systems endure. Simple shelters, simple routines, simple goals. Survival is not about optimization. It is about reliability. What works consistently matters more than what works impressively. At some point, survivors stop surviving. They start existing. This shift reduces fear. The environment becomes familiar. Patterns emerge. Confidence stabilizes. This is not complacency. It is adaptation. And adaptation is the human advantage. Humans do not survive because they are strong. They survive because they adjust. They slow down. They observe. They learn. At a certain point, survival stops feeling temporary. The mind quietly accepts a new normal. This moment is subtle but powerful. People no longer ask, when will this end? They begin asking, how do I maintain this? This shift reduces anxiety dramatically because fear is tied to uncertainty. And uncertainty fades once survival becomes routine. Those who reach this phase are no longer reacting. They are managing. Risk never disappears, it only changes form. In long-term survival, danger comes from fatigue, overconfidence, environmental complacency. Experienced survivors do not eliminate risk. They manage it. They assume failure is possible and prepare for it quietly. Redundancy replaces optimism. Ironically, experience can become dangerous. Familiarity lowers caution. Movements become faster. Decisions become automatic. Checks are skipped. This is why experienced survivors intentionally slow themselves down. They double-check simple tasks. They treat routine actions as potential failure points because repetition hides danger. In survival, injuries rarely come from dramatic accidents. They come from slips, repetitive strain, careless tool use. A small cut can become infected. A twisted ankle can end mobility. Survivors treat their bodies as limited resources. They rest early. They stop before pain becomes injury. They avoid unnecessary strain. Because the body cannot be replaced. Tools feel powerful early on. Later, they feel fragile. Blades dull, handles crack, fire starters fail. Survivors adapt by using tools less, not more. They rely on positioning, leverage, and environment. The most effective tool is often restraint. Long-term survival requires reading the environment, not dramatically but constantly. Wind patterns, animal behavior, water movement, weather shifts. These signals guide decisions more reliably than plans. Survivors listen to the land, and they adjust before problems appear. Rigid plans fail, conditions change, resources shift, weather overrides intention. Survivors plan in principles, not specifics. Instead of, I will do this, they think, if conditions allow, I will adapt this way. Flexibility preserves options. Options preserve survival. Time behaves strangely in isolation. Days stretch, weeks blur, moments lose sequence. This can damage morale and judgment. Survivors counter time distortion by tracking progress. Not externally more, but mentally. Tasks completed, shelter improvements, systems stabilized, progress restores direction, excess creates maintenance, extra gear requires care, extra structures require repair, extra plans require energy. Survivors strip life down to essentials, not out of minimalism, but efficiency. Everything kept must justify its existence. Early survival focuses on daily energy. Long-term survival focuses on cumulative energy. One hard day can be recovered from. Repeated strain cannot. Survivors avoid peaks and crashes. They aim for consistency. Because steady survival outlasts heroic effort. Silence teaches patience. In silence, unnecessary thoughts fade. Survivors spend long periods doing nothing, intentionally. Observation replaces stimulation. This reduces impulsive decisions. Silence becomes a protective space. Hope can motivate, but unrealistic hope creates recklessness. Survivors separate hope from planning. They prepare for continuation, not rescue. If rescue comes, it is a bonus, not a dependency. Depending on hope creates urgency. Urgency creates mistakes. Every decision consumes mental energy. Survivors reduce decision load by creating defaults, maintaining routines, limiting choices. Fewer decisions preserve clarity. Clarity preserves safety. Survival is not about dominating nature. It is about fitting within it. Survivors adapt behavior to conditions. They stop fighting the environment. Resistance wastes energy. Alignment conserves it. At the deepest level of survival, nothing feels dramatic. Systems work. Decisions flow. Risk is managed calmly. This is not excitement. It is quiet competence. And it is the most sustainable state a human can reach in the wild. Most people fail earlier, not because they cannot survive, but because they refuse to slow down. They chase stimulation. They seek progress. They fight boredom. But survival rewards those who accept simplicity. Survival is not a special talent. It is a set of behaviors. Calm, observation, energy management, adaptation. These behaviors exist in all humans. They are simply forgotten. Stripped of comfort, humans return to basics. Warmth, water, rest, routine. Survival reveals how little is truly required and how much excess complicates life. Survival is not about winning against nature. It is about learning to exist within it. Those who endure do not conquer the wild. They cooperate with it. The wilderness does not care who you are. It responds only to behavior. And when behavior aligns with reality, survival follows naturally, quietly, slowly, and consistently.